Welcome back to In Depth with Jodie Lobana. We are talking with Swami Jis from Vedanta Society, and we've got Swami Amarananada from Geneva, Switzerland, and Swami Girishananda from Belur Math, India. So this is part 2 of interview with the Swami Jis. So just continuing on with our questions. So for a person that works in a 9-to-5 job, what would you suggest? How can they progress on their spiritual path? What is short advice for them as they progress?
I can understand, you see. First of all, you see, like all persons, you see, the message is not much different, only that we say that have sincerity. Because Ramakrishna used to say himself that those who are very busy, they should, for a little while at least, bow down, and at that moment, you see, they should forget the whole world at that moment.
Sure.
Only once, if he or she is tremendously busy. But there is a time, you see, you are not busy of your whole life. You see, there is a superannuation, something called, you see. So then you begin, you see.
You start to spend more time.
More energy, you see, in various ways. You see. And not only that, he used to add that even worldly people, busy people, have some free time, some vacation period. If you can manage, for example, one day in a year, away from your home, away from the society, you say, you spend one day for spirituality alone.
Sure.
If you can make it 2 days, it is still better.
Yes.
So like that you should do, you see. Even busy people. And if you are very busy, just once, you see, remember.
Once a day.
Minimum, that means, I say, don't, you see, pass a day without remembering him.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Vedanta Society is one of the activity is to arrange retreat centers
Sure.
in the West.
Yeah.
So devotees are given earlier informations. So let us spend the whole day with divine thoughts. There is no other engagement.
Sure.
Yesterday and day before yesterday, the retreat was conducted by this Toronto center.
Sure.
So a group of devotees who are very much interested to spend their time, they came, and from morning till afternoon only there is a recess for lunch and tea.
Sure.
We are discussing regarding the spiritual matters,
Sure.
what is written in the scriptures, the interpretation of it, and how to get answers to our spiritual questions.
Sure.
These sort of questions that comes to their mind, the question and answer sessions were held, and people get a lot of help, I should say, that their mind gets infused with this sort of thought, continuously pouring for all the time, for that particular period of 6 to 7 hours. The same day it has been repeated. This is the first day, second it has been repeated.
Sure.
The menus are changed.
Yeah.
Menu means the item of discussions are changed. But it will not be a monotonous one. So they will feel highly interesting.
Okay.
And there will be spiritual songs, that
Yes.
much. And difference is the questions that are put the earlier day, some other questions that come when they are thinking of that.
Okay.
So this sort of spiritual conversation that helps the common public, the common person, who do not have the surroundings in their house
Sure.
when they are doing work or meeting with other people. in their working place, they do not get time. So it was the advice of Sri Ramakrishna that take the association of a holy company, you call his name, you take his name, go to the place where people are discussing these things. So naturally it will influence your mind, and mind gets surcharged with spiritual waves and thoughts.
Why is spirituality important? I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a second. Why is spirituality important?
Spirituality is important. First of all, it is not only the truth, it is the truth of truths. It is the truth of truths. Behind everything there is spirituality. If you are detached from it, one day or other you will suffer. Questions will come, tension will come, problems will arise, your mind becomes very much stressed. All these things is spirituality, because our nature is spirituality. We are spirit basically.
Yes.
We are spirit basically. But the upper mind, the conscious mind forgets it.
Sure.
So you see, that way it is important. Secondly, the importance is this even for pragmatic things. If you begin to concentrate, if you begin to focus on spiritual things, your mind gets stronger and stronger. Even in the field of work, you see better, you judge better, you begin with a stressed mind, you can come down in a better way. So all these things is a big gain. Not only that, you can see the minds of others more clearly.
Yes.
Someone is saying something, what is the motive behind?
Yes.
You can see through. So these are the gains, immediate gains, I mean.
Yes. And the ultimate gain is,
Yes.
as the Kabir Ji said, actually I've written a book on Saint Kabir, and as Kabir Ji said, at the end of the day, without spirituality, without engaging with spirituality, we are all just going to die. But only way to become permanent is to become one with the permanent.
Exactly.
That's the only way for
That's
permanence.
right.
Everything else would just dissolve at the time of our death, and we leave.
Would you please quote the lines? Because these are dohas,
Yeah, these.
couplets of Kabir.
This is, I can't really remember Doha by heart at the moment, but I was actually, in my life, something has happened. In November of 2012, I was given a message to bring the message of the saints of the past to present day. So since that time, we've organized, me and my friend Vipul Sharma, we organized a program on Kabir Ji. And so that was in May, and I wrote a book on Saint Kabir in association with Kabir Association of Canada and Toronto. And so Kabir Ji has really kind of taken over last 4 or 5 months of my life. And now, after that, now we're going over to other saints and Swamis, including Sri Ramakrishna. As I arrived here, the inspiration came to bring out the message of Sri Ramakrishna. So, to bringing out the message of the saints of the past to present day. So that's the task that's been given. If you ask me, Jodie, what would you be getting out of it? I have no knowledge. I'm following the inspiration that's given.
No, that is, you see.
It is very good that you should have dependence on God.
Yes.
In whatever form and whichever way you like. If you think that God is the highest reality,
Yes.
and He is the prime mover
Yes.
of this world, you should have dependence on God,
Yes.
on your prayer and other things. Remembrance of the God.
Yes. And the beauty of this is, as you mentioned, that the beauty of this state of surrender is there is perfect joy. As my friend would attest, there's no suffering in my life. Because the state of surrender is there.
Yes.
And whatever happens, even my car may break down, or my leg may break, but everything as far as I'm concerned is for my good. It's a gift from God. There is some higher meaning to it.
It's very good. It is a great the submission. It is called the ultimate message of the Gita. You see, in the 18th chapter, 66th shloka. It is called the ultimate message of the Gita.
So I wanted to discuss your journey, both of you guys.
My journey is simple. I was born in a Hindu Brahmin family, so I imbibed certain things from my childhood. That means, worshipping God, this, that, etc. And also from the very childhood, I was reading the lives, short biographies of the saints. This, they attracted me very much. But when I grew up, I began to reason it out. I began to discover that maybe much of it is false. Much of it is just handed down from generation to generation. As the Almira Arab said, long ago, that you listen many things handed down from generation to generation. So these things have been imbibed. So this is maybe superstition. I say. So I began to look at it from that. I began to question many people. Did not get any correct answer or satisfying answer. So when I was in the university level, I became, for all practical purposes, a total atheist. Though I used to talk about God, etc., I used not to quarrel with them, but keep a distance, thinking that they are superstitious. But certain times I used to try to reason it out. Why mankind is clinging to God? You see, what is the reason? You see, never I used to fall asleep, you see, after some time, thinking over it. So when I finished my university, I was in service, then I had much time. Morning and evening, totally free. So I began to read more, especially the works of Swami Vivekananda. I could accept everything except his, accepting this personal God. The impersonal God was okay for me. The personal God is still said to me is a great superstition. I could not reconcile myself. So then, things passed like that. I was the, for most people I was an atheist, etc., etc. But something was in me, etc. I thought that maybe my mind should be transformed. Then I can understand a little better. So let me ask for initiation with a mantra from the Ramakrishna order. Because I chose the Ramakrishna order not because of any family connection, but because its headquarters is in Bengal. And Bengalis, like French people, are always very much questioning, very much, very much
intellectuals,
enlightening, etc. Anything, they will question it. So it is I thought that is a great safeguard. So I was searching for, and I applied for initiation. I got it. Got it.
And you got a mantra.
I got a mantra, but I had no belief in God. As an experiment, I was experimenting with that mantra. What happens if I do it sincerely for a time? So for 6 months, nothing happened. So I was thinking of going again to the Supreme of the order and reporting that, look here, I took it for this purpose. It did not work, so I shall give up everything. I said, just at that moment, I got an inspiration, tremendous inspiration. Swami was lecturing on the Bhagavad Gita, a certain sloka. It was so much, that faith in God entered into me like a torrent that evening. So I went back and wrote my resignation later, of course with a 1 month's notice, otherwise I had to pay back money. I had no money because, whatever money I used to have, I used to hand over my mother, I used not to, you see, handle money, you see.
Yeah.
So, then I got a little, you see, it happened like a miracle. Next morning I submitted my...
Just like that?
Yes, resignation letter, you see. Immediately a telephone came from Belur Math that would you like to accept a job in our order? I say, what kind of job and where?
Yes, yeah.
What kind of job and where?
Yeah.
You see, they say that you have to give lectures in one of our colleges, etc. They say some 20 lectures per week.
Yeah.
And I said that I shall not accept anything within 2 months. 1 month's notice is there. I say, to get out.
Yeah.
Another 1 month I shall introspect myself.
Yes.
You see,
Yeah.
I shall not do anything.
Yes.
It is sabbatic. You see.
So when you resigned, at that time, what was going through your mind as you were giving the resignation?
You see, the idea is this, if God is there, then I should give my life for this God realization. Now I say,
Yeah.
God is there, so I should give my, why should I give, why should I work? You say, what for? I shall be in job and earning money. What is the purpose? You see?
But money is important too, no?
Yes, money can be had in many ways. You can do something nominal.
Yeah.
Go to a village and teach someone a little mathematics, languages, you earn something and you have your bread.
Sure.
See, you have your independence, you have your time. You see,
Yes.
in many ways, you see, it is not necessary that you are in a job.
So you were a teacher? Were you a teacher?
I was an engineer and so I used to work, you see, regularly. You see.
But how did Belur Math, they called you? How did...
No, they did not. Oh, yes, call me there. You see, I was frequenting Belur Math
Okay.
to talk with sadhus, etc., etc.
Yeah.
If they can help me, that thereby some of them came to know me.
Yes.
See?
Yes. So you must
It was fortunately, you see, incidentally, it is the founder of this center.
Okay.
You see, he called me.
Okay.
You see, he was then in Belur Math. He called me.
And he invited you to speak, do those sessions.
No, he suggested this a job.
Suggested as a job.
So when I took up this job finally,
Yeah.
you see, then I found that it was all arranged by God because the head of this center was a great saint.
Sure.
You see, so for more than 1 year,
Yes.
you see, almost daily he used to give me some 2 hours time.
Okay.
All my buts and ifs I put to him. So you see, and finally, you see, so I joined the order under him.
Yes.
So like that it happened.
Wow. And then they just progressed from there, and
Yes.
whatever precepts needed to be
Yes.
followed, you
And
followed.
for 3 years I decided, I took some 3 years time
Yes.
after that. That was whether to remain spiritual without being a monk. I say it is possible.
It's a tough decision, isn't it?
Yes, it is a tough decision. I had to take it all alone. I say without consulting anyone.
You didn't consult.
And no, not a single person on heaven and earth I consult.
What was the reason you kind of you wanted the decision to come from within?
I knew that any person will talking from his or her experience and I say, you have to decide.
Wow.
You have to decide it.
Hmm.
You say,
Yeah.
if God is true, it must be, he say, God must inspire you sufficiently.
Yes.
That's what.
So how was finally when after 3 years as you made the decision, what was the basis for that decision?
Basis, you see, I found several solutions. You can remain single
Yes.
in life and you can have unnoticed to others. You can be very, very spiritual. It is possible. You may not join any order.
Yes.
Go to the Himalayas and do
Yes.
your sadhana.
Yes.
That is also possible. And you join an order.
Yes.
Then the problem came, which order?
Yes.
So I decided Ramakrishna order because the banner is correct. You say Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Sarada Devi, they are correct.
Yeah.
And secondly, because the headquarters is in Bengal, you
Yes.
say Bengalis are hypercritical people. So that is the safety.
Yes.
If you go to the Himalayas, there is a Paramahamsa there, you do not know what kind of Paramahamsa.
Yeah, whether they're real or
Yes,
fake.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the, you see, so that is my, now you ask him.
Yes. So, thank you, Swamiji. Swami Girishananda, what was your journey? How did you come from childhood onwards?
Yes. From my boyhood days, I am fortunate that my family is associated with the Ramakrishna Math and Mission very closely.
Sure.
My one of the closest relative is a monk of the order. He had passed away. So I have got an experience to talk with him and like very much this monastic life. I do not know that why I like, but as soon as I see the monks at Belur Math,
Yes.
I like that I should have that sort of a life.
Sure.
I shall not go like an ordinary person with a family and wife and children and lead a life of marriage or go to the ocean of samsara worldliness.
Sure.
My great-grandfather, he was an initiated disciple of Swami Shivananda Ji Maharaj.
Okay.
He was a direct disciple of Swami Krishna.
Sure.
I have seen him. He was very old that time when I saw him.
Yeah.
He is a family man. Every day he was making tremendous practice of meditation and prayer and all these things. A very regular and routine life.
Sure.
And then one important thing that happened in my life, I have not seen the picture of Swami Vivekananda
Sure.
in our dynastic house.
Yes.
There are some books written by that great grandfather,
Sure.
and I saw the picture of Swami Vivekananda in some other books.
Yeah.
As soon as I see the picture, immediately it inspires me very much.
Wow.
As if I feel that there is nothing greater than that in this world.
Sure.
It attracts me, especially in the eyes of Swami Vivekananda.
Yeah. So that is
Afterwards,
as early as teen. You were a teenager at the time, or
Yes,
was it
I
later?
was a teenager.
Okay.
My determination is there when I was a teenager, passing my college life.
Sure.
Earlier to that, I had the determination, and I went to Belur Math and met the same guru who have brought the same spiritual preceptor.
Yeah.
And I came in contact with him, got initiation from him, and then we are known to each other because we met together
Sure.
in the same place. And the private secretary to that, our head of the organization, he
Yeah.
was a great saint, as yes, he was staying in Belur Math.
Sure.
So I used to go very frequently and want to spend hours after hours with that private secretary of that President Maharaj,
Sure.
head of the organization. And I, first meeting itself, before my initiation, I had simply divulged that Maharaj, my only aim is to become a monk,
Wow.
nothing less than that.
Yeah.
So, you see what I do not know how I have to express you. That was a spiritual tendency from the very early time of my life.
Yes.
And it happened like that as early I can take up that life, I am going to be ready for it.
Sure.
So that is the first impetus in my spiritual life,
Yeah.
because I know this organization
Yeah.
from the very early stages.
Yes.
I used to go and visit Dakshineshwar, where Sri Ramakrishna
Yeah.
was doing his sadhana,
Yes.
and Belur Math. We know, I was knowing, my family was knowing, so many of the monks were staying there. So you see, that is an environment and a culture.
Yes.
It had helped me a lot.
Yes.
That was the main source of inspiration. And then I joined.
So So were there any challenges, like as other Swami Ji have said that he has had to face challenges, you've had to face challenges in decision making. But were there any challenges for you?
No,
Swami
not
Krishna?
like that. I do not have any second thought that comes to my mind.
He glided just.
Uh-huh.
He glided into it.
Yeah, glided, like from the
Yes,
start,
yes.
the right environment,
Yes.
and you had the right tendencies.
I love that path. I like it, like anything, more than anything. And I have a determined mind that I am to take this path.
Sure.
I will not live my life like ordinary soul.
Sure.
That was my, aspiration.
Yes. So what is your relationship to the world now? So maybe you can start.
World.
Yeah.
You see, world now means, what do you mean by family, by friends,
The
etc.?
rest of the world, yeah.
The rest of the world, you see, we mix with the world.
Mm.
Only that we do not, we have certain don'ts. Don'ts means one is that you do not have anything which, which is your cultivation of the libido, anything associated with libido.
Sure.
And you do not do anything for amassing personal fortunes, money, etc. As head of centers, all of us do fundraising, but never for ourselves.
Sure.
Never for ourselves. You see, even for our personal belongings, this and that, you see, I am in Geneva. I've already, done it long ago.
Yeah.
As soon as, more than 20 years ago, I went to an advocate. Even my personal things which I use, after my demise, it will be taken by the society I work for.
So you've given it away.
Yes, like that.
Yes.
The same.
And don't you ever get worried? What if, this is just hypothetical question, but what if for some strange reason something happens between a person and a Swami Ji and the organization, and they have, for some strange reason, the person has to leave.
Yes.
But then they don't have anything.
No, you see.
Like,
if
how would
if
they take care?
if-
That's in a human's mind. Generally, human amasses because
I
they're
am of
scared.
Indian origin.
Yeah.
I'm of Indian origin. You see, if there is no support outside of India for me, I shall go back to my country. And every correct person there,
Yes.
if you are a sannyasin, he does not die of hunger.
Sure.
India has this, at
Yeah.
least. You see.
Yeah.
A correct person, if you are a correct person, you will not die of hunger.
Yes.
You see.
Okay.
So what is there?
And you trust.
God is there.
Yes.
You see, there.
You trust.
Yes.
You trust. Yes. And Swami Girishananda, what do you think? What is your relationship to the world?
You see, I have spent 46 years of my life, a big passage of time I have passed.
Sure.
In our primary stage, I was keeping a very, very less contact with the other householders.
Sure.
But slowly I grew on in that organization. And I experienced that how I am to be in contact with the world,
Sure.
those who are in the worldly life.
Yes.
Because we are doing certain service activities in the centers.
Yes.
So because of that, the worldly people, they are coming in contact
Yes.
with us. And mostly the devotees who love Sri Ramakrishna coming to the ashram,
Yes.
in the place. So slowly, I am to adjust myself with that environment,
Yes.
and I understand that how I can be of service to those people,
Yes.
because I have become a monk not for myself only,
Yeah.
for my God realization. I am to help others also
Yes.
in whatever capacity I have got.
Yes.
So what I used to do, see, there are certain work that is allotted to me by the heads of a particular center where I have joined.
Yes.
I am to give my best effort to do it.
Yes.
So like that, the mind develops. And then I have been given some responsibility in this organization.
Yes.
When I am having the capacity to have a contact with the worldly people,
Yes.
outside world.
Yes.
I cannot be out of the world, but I have to give service to the world.
Yes.
But it is not like that, that giving service to the world, I am not swept away by the world.
That is
Because worldly people have got hundreds of tastes,
true.
inclinations.
Yes.
So whoever comes to me for whatever service, I am coming in contact with them. For all this work, I am to think that I am taking a path of karma yoga. Karma yoga,
Karma.
realization of God through service.
Yes.
So slowly, I got more and more experience and maturity.
Yes.
And then I can come in contact with the people of the world.
Yes.
I answer to their questions. I serve their need.
Sure.
Not only service in the field of religious discussion, other things. We have got so many other works
Sure.
in the center. I was conducting educational institutions
Yes.
in certain places in India.
Okay.
Some tribal development work, which are backward people,
Sure.
economically, and you can tell in the culturally also.
Sure.
So there our institutions has been started. And so many other works also.
Just
we are
many
doing.
service activities.
Yes, educational activity, or medical activity, like that.
Sure.
So I was doing all these things. And not only that, in a big scale, every year we have got the celebrations.
Okay.
Birthday of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother,
Sure.
Swami Jis, Christmas Day. On the celebrations days, I have got some idea that how to do it in a magnificent way.
Yes.
In one of the activities of the center where I am staying. At present where I am staying, that is the head of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission headquarter.
Yes.
It's called Belur Math.
Yes.
All of our monks belong to that place.
Sure.
So it is a big responsibility and a job entrusted to me.
Definitely.
We have to look after the monks coming from so many centers in India and abroad. They come and stay. There is certain monks who have fallen ill, their treatment and other things, and their food and other things. It is a monastery.
Sure.
Every day, about a number 300 to 400 persons are taking food.
Yes.
Not only that, there are devotees coming every day. Anybody and everybody who comes, and we offer them food, prasad.
Definitely.
That is a number of 2,000, 3,000. And in special days like Durga Puja, it will be 30 to 40,000.
Sure.
So all these
So
arrangements,
one
I have got,
service activity.
yes,
So-
assistants are there, monastic assistants, and myself as the head. So these sort of service activities, I am trying to do as much as possible.
Thank you. So just quickly, as we close out, what are some of the final message that you guys have? Something that we may have talked about or may not have talked about, but to our viewers, what would you want to say? We'll start off with you, Swami.
You see, the message is this, that somehow or other, hook yourself to the each-other. So there are many ways you have to do it. That is the principal thing. Another thing is that normally by coming to religion, we tend to be dogmatic.
Sure.
You see, don't be dogmatic, and even in respect of your own religion, lock off the dogmas. Dogmas are not so much important. By dogmas I mean those truths which are not verified, not verifiable, but which we want to impose upon others with a zeal. You see, I mean dogmas by that kind of truths. See, even in your own tradition, you lop up the dogmas, but go to the essence of the religion.
Sure, definitely. Thank you. And Swami Girishananda, what are your parting words to us? What's a message for our viewers that you want to give?
See,
Raise your voice, he's saying.
Oh,
Raise your voice,
oh.
please.
so what I feel that I want that people should have ethical and spiritual life.
Sure.
More importance should be stressed on that. So my message is try to become spiritual
Sure.
at any cost. Whichever way you like most, which suits you most, or whatever society and whatever religion you belong to. My message is try to become spiritual, and then only you can have peace and you will reach the goal of human birth. The goal of human birth, Sri Ramakrishna had said, is realization of God.
Sure.
There may be other second or third goal, maybe. The most important goal that which we, anybody as human being should aspire is the realization of God. For that, how to make mankind pure, spiritually elevated, developing the society with spiritually oriented mind. So society will have good people, noble people, nice persons
Sure.
who can help the society, who will be an asset to the society. So that is my message.
Yes. Thank you. So in essence, I guess if we have a society with spiritual people, we'll have heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. So on that note, thank you Swami Amarananada from Geneva and Swami Girishananda from Belur Math, India, for Vedanta Society. We are actually at the location of Vedanta Society of Toronto today. So thank you to the organizers of Vedanta Society, and thank you all viewers for listening. Thank you.